The neon sign of Blue Ridge Diner buzzed softly in the early evening quiet, glowing against the dusky sky as the first wave of customers trickled in. Inside, the warm lights reflected off polished chrome, and the scent of hot coffee drifted through the air. Most evenings here were peaceful, almost sleepy, except for the days when Trouble walked through the door wearing a smirk. Behind the counter stood Lena and Lyra Hale, identical twins with the same warm brown eyes, tied hair, matching aprons, and a reputation for being the quietest employees the diner had ever seen. Customers knew them simply as the Hale twins. They moved like synchronicity, soft steps, controlled breath, calm expressions, graceful precision. Nobody knew their past. Nobody guessed the truth. Nobody imagined what these two could do. They only knew the twins were polite, efficient, respectful, and carried a strange stillness around them, like calm water hiding an unfathomable depth. Tonight would be the first time anyone witnessed what hid beneath that surface. It started when the bell above the door rang aggressively instead of normally jingling. 3 guys barged in, their loud voices ripping through the mellow hum of the diner. All 3 looked like trouble from a distance, even more up close. Connor, the leader, was tall and broad-shouldered with heavy boots, a loose jacket, and a grin that never meant good things. His friend Troy, lanky with restless hands and darting eyes, scanned the room like he was searching for someone to amuse himself with. And then there was Jace, muscular, tattooed, and wearing a sleeveless hoodie despite the cold. More bark than brain, but the type who enjoyed throwing his weight around. They didn't just walk in, they arrived, like a storm that wanted to be noticed. A few customers lowered their heads. A mother subtly pulled her daughter closer. Even the cook looked through the serving window and muttered, "Not tonight." But the twins, they didn't flinch. Lena was setting a coffee pot in place. Lyra was placing fresh napkins on a corner table. Their expressions didn't change, not even a shift in their breathing. They handled storms differently. Connor slammed into a booth and smacked the table. "Hey, someone get over here!" His voice cracked through the diner like a thrown bottle. Lyra approached with her usual calm. Her voice was soft, polite, unwavering, like she had spoken to 1,000 angry men before. "Good evening. What can I get you?" Troy smirked, leaning back with his boots on the table. "Oh, we'll start with your number, sweetheart." Jace laughed, slapping the table. "Yeah, and maybe you can smile for us. You look too serious." Lyra blinked once, emotionless. "Drinks?" Connor stared at her like she had challenged him. "You deaf or just stupid?" "Drinks," she repeated without a single tremor in her voice. Something about that annoyed him further. Her calmness made him feel small. Connor's jaw flexed. "Fine, coffee, and bring cream, and sugar, and don't mess it up." Lyra nodded once and walked away. The moment she turned her back, Troy elbowed Jace. "Bro, look how she walks. She's trying to act like she's tough." Jace grinned. "I bet the other twin is the same. Quiet girls, always fun to break." Their voices weren't quiet. They wanted the whole diner to hear. And everyone did. Lena did too. She froze for less than a second. So fast no one but Lyra would have noticed. That one line was dangerous. Not for her, not for Lyra. Dangerous for the idiots who said it. They didn't know they were talking about 2 women who had survived deserts, oceans, fire, and war. 2 women who had completed the most grueling military training on Earth. 2 women who had been forged by discipline and hardship. 2 Navy SEALs. But Lena simply poured coffee in 3 mugs and started walking back. No trembling, no angered expression, nothing that would alarm anyone. But her steps were quieter, calculated, prepared. She set the cups down. "Your coffee." Connor stared at her face. "Hey, look at me when I'm talking." She lifted her eyes, calm, cold. "Is there a problem with your order?" "Yeah," Connor grinned. "You." Jace leaned forward. "Why don't you sit with us for a bit?" Troy added. "Yeah, come on, we're being friendly, don't be rude." Lena didn't respond. She walked away. And that ignited something ugly inside them. Troy shoved his cup away, spilling coffee across the table. "Hey, she made a mess!" He shouted it loud enough for the entire diner to turn. Lena turned back, brows slightly raised. "You spilled it." Troy stood up. "Too fast, too aggressive. Are you calling me a liar?" Lyra moved closer, silent, watchful. "Sir, please lower your voice." He stepped toward her. "What if I don't?" She didn't move. She didn't blink. Her heartbeat didn't even spike. It only made him angrier. Connor joined him, pushing out of the booth. "I think these two need a lesson in respect." The cook stepped forward. "All right, boys, that's enough." Connor cut him off. "Sit down, old man, we're just talking." The cook hesitated, then sat. His eyes flicked to the twins, but they gave him nothing, not yet. The men circled the front counter where the twins stood. Customers pretended not to look but couldn't help watching. This wasn't normal harassment anymore. This was escalation. Jace cracked his knuckles. "Let's see which twin breaks first." And then it happened. Troy reached out and grabbed Lyra's wrist. It wasn't a gentle touch. It was a grip meant to control, to intimidate, to dominate. Lyra didn't look scared. She looked disappointed, like she had expected better from fate. Lena's voice came low, quiet, dangerous. "Let go." Troy laughed. Or what? And then Lyra moved. No hesitation, no warning, no dramatic sound. Just a blur. Her left hand twisted, her elbow pressed, her wrist rotated. Troy's fingers popped open involuntarily as pain shot through his arm. She turned his hand palm up, bent his wrist backward, and he dropped to his knees. With a scream, "What the?" The diner froze. Connor lunged, but Lena grabbed a coffee pot and smashed it across his wrist, not breaking it, but stunning him hard enough to numb his whole forearm. He cursed, swinging, but she ducked under his arm and kicked the inside of his knee. His leg buckled. Jace ran straight at Lyra, arms wide, but she stepped aside, hooked his foot, and let his weight betray him. He crashed into the counter, smashing his face on the corner. Connor got up, furious. "You little—" He swung again, a wild punch, a desperate punch, a punch thrown by someone who had never been in a real fight.